second thing we teach you to save money for is for purchases. Instead of borrowing to buy something, pay cash by using the sinking fund approach. For instance, let's say you had a $4,000 dining room set, and you went down to Rooms There They Went. And they would have, if you went to the local furniture store, right, and you went down there, there's a $4,000 dining room set, they would have 90 days, same as cash, right? And you could go in there and you could finance it. Well, here's the trick. A buddy of mine in the finance business told me the other day that 88% of the 90 days, same as cash contracts, that's 9 out of 10, do not pay off in 90 days. And when they don't pay off in 90 days, or even if you pay a little payment you're supposed to pay through there and you don't pay it on time, they'll still tag you and they back charge you through the whole thing with the interest, and then you get to pay payments for the rest of your dad blame life at 24 or 38% interest is the way this deal works, and they kick you in the tail. So this means that you're going to have borrowed at 24% interest. You'd have payments of $211 a month as an example for 24 months, and so you'd end up paying $5,064 for a $4,000 dining room set. Here's an idea. Here's an old-fashioned thought, the way your grandmother would think or your great-grandmother would think about money. Here's an idea. Here's what a sinking fund is. It's a commercial real estate term. If you buy a commercial real estate building and it's got a 20-year roof on it, you know that in 20 years you got to buy a roof, so every year you set aside out of your income 1/20th of the roof. So when the roof, which is a big hairy deal on a big building, comes up, you've got the money to put the roof on it. It's not a surprise. That's a sinking fund. And that's all we're doing here. We're just going to save money and earn a little bit of interest on our money rather than paying someone else payments and being stuck in a rut. And so what if you saved $211 a month? You did this for 18 months. You could pay cash. Now, some of you are quick with a calculator or quick with your math, or you'll go back later and run the numbers. You go, no, wait a minute, 18 times 211 is not 4,000. You're right, it's not. 18 times 211 is actually only $3,798, $3,800. But you know what I've discovered? Did you know that 90 days is not the same as cash? that if you have 38 Uncle Benjamin Franklins, that you could probably walk into a furniture store and get a deal, couldn't you? Do you think you could buy a $4,000 dining room set for $3,800 doing that? You'll get special attention if you just walk around and do this right here. Because they just don't, the kid, you go up to ring it up and the kid will go like, whoa, dude, this one's got like real money. You know? And so it's a cool process. You can get deals like this, and we're going to talk about that in the bargain lesson, so don't miss it. So 90 days is not the same as cash. Now, do all furniture stores always discount when you do that? Well, absolutely not. Do I leave with my money if they don't? Absolutely. Because I'm going to save up and pay for it. And you know, you start paying for furniture that way, you're going, I'm not sure I like the furniture. I kind of like this. I'm just going to go home. You know what I'm saying? Or let's think about a car, for example. Let's kind of look at that, because everybody's saying, oh, car payments. You always got to have a car payment. That's the thing that goes around all the time. We'll talk about that in detail in the debt lesson. But what if you had a $4,600 car? You could save for a $4,600 car, and you could do that by putting $464, which, by the way, is the average car payment in North America today, according to USA Today. If you put $464 just in the cookie jar for 10 months, not even a whole year, and then you could buy a car. Well, now, Dave, $4,600 won't buy much of a car. It'll buy a car without payments, and it will do it in 10 months. And did you know I can drive out a state highway that way about 20 miles, or I can drive out a state highway about that way about 20 miles, and you could too, and I can buy me a 10-year-old Honda Accord that is a very, very nice automobile for $4,600. I could do the same thing with a nice Ford Taurus and probably buy it for even less than that. And that's a great car to get me back and forth to work for 10 more months while I do it again. And do it for 10 more months. And now I'm driving a $15,000 car 30 months in, paid for. This is called saving up and paying for things. It's a novel idea. It's kind of sweeping the nation. It's different. You know, think it through. Think it through. It'll come to you. building requires a key ingredient, and that is discipline. Discipline is a key ingredient when it comes to wealth building. Now, I got to tell you, I don't like discipline. Anybody that just says, I like discipline, you're kind of weird. You know? That's kind of a sickness, you know? I mean, I like discipline. Yeah, I don't want to go there. That's out there a little bit, okay? But I tell you what, I do like in my life what discipline produces. When I am disciplined in taking care of my body, I like that I feel better and I'm a little thinner. When I am disciplined in taking care of my money, I like that I have some. No discipline seems pleasant at the time. We can all admit that. When I go out running, some mornings it's early and I don't want to get up, that isn't pleasant at the time. But when I get to work later that day after doing a few miles, I feel better, don't I? Same thing with my money. No discipline seems pleasant when I'm doing it, but then when I need a little money to buy a car or take care of my child or send my kid to college or something, I've got some. It's not pleasant at the time, but it produces a harvest that is powerful. Building wealth is a marathon. It is not a sprint. You can't get rich quick. Everybody's looking for a shortcut. Everybody's watching midnight cable TV. I'm going to order this tape set, and they've got magic pills, and it's easy, and it's not easy. It's not easy. Building wealth is hard. Otherwise, everybody would be rich. It's tough, but it's worth it. And anybody that tells you it's easy, and anybody tells you they've got a shortcut, and anything that sounds too good to be true is, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. If it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true. That's the process. Wealth is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And we live in a culture where we don't want to focus on anything. The whole culture's ADD. You know what I'm talking about? We're all crazy, you know? We can't keep our eyes on nothing. I mean, talking on a cell phone, putting on the makeup, driving with your knee. I mean, come on. Get out of the left lane. You know? I mean, come on. Right? Concentrate on something. Focus on something. And if you do that long term, that's a marathon. And wealth is a marathon. Anybody that tells you it's a sprint is not smart. Stay away from them. It's not going to work. All the wealthy people I talk to say, Dave, it's a process over time. Here's an example. What if you saved your pizza money or your cable money? $100 a month. Now, some of you spend $150 on cable and $600 on pizza. But average, let's just say you took $100 a month and you were to save that from age 25 to age 65, your working lifetime. And you were to invest that steady every single month in a good growth stock mutual fund, and we'll talk about that in the investment lesson, and you were to average 12% on your money. If you were to save just $100 a month, at age 65, you'd have $1,176,000. You'd be a millionaire. Say wow. No one in our culture should retire broke. And yet many, many people are. $100! Dave, well, I didn't see $100. That's because you got car payments and furniture payments. Because you didn't save up and pay for them. $100 is not that much money in most people's household. $100. And you retire with dignity. Just $100. I was speaking to a group of high school seniors a while back, and the teacher said, Dave, talk to these kids about what smoking costs. So we discussed it in there for a few minutes, and we came up and we said, well, gosh, you know, what if it was like a pack a day? And we said, okay, maybe $3 a day. So let's do the math a minute. $3 times 30 days is what? 3 times 30 is $90 invested. So if you were to invest that much from age 16 to age 76, you'd have $11.6 million. This kid in the back goes, whoa, dude, what do you do with that much money? I said, you change your family tree. Maybe this time it'll fork. Now, I don't smoke, but I have been known to go get me a cup of coffee at Starbucks. And that's like, a friend of mine calls it $5. Right? What if you spent $5 a day at Starbucks? Here's the numbers on that one from age 16 to 76. That's starting early with your coffee. But that's $150 a month. That's $19 million. That coffee smells bitter to me. There's a problem here. You have to think through this. Now, how am I going to do this? How am I going to build this discipline? I got to tell you, I'm just like you. I'm busy. I'm running in 19 directions. I have to have kind of autopilot discipline. So I used pre-authorized checking withdrawals, which is a good way to build discipline. Because if it zaps my account, if those mutual funds come along to my account and they go smack, right? That account just gets hit really hard at the first of the month, and it automatically moves over to that mutual fund. It happens whether I'm out of town. It happens whether I'm on vacation. It happens whether I'm too busy to sit down and do the checkbook. It happens. And my savings is automatic every month. I need that discipline. I need that automated process to be able to save that way.